it's Kayla and I'm back with another video. Today we're going to be talking about audiobooks and the best ways to listen to them. This is the year that I've really gotten into audiobooks and I absolutely love them, but it can definitely get pricey at times to listen to audiobooks. So today I'm going to go through the 4 different ways I like to listen to audiobooks, talk about the price of them, the pros, cons, what I like and dislike, and help you figure out what is the best way to listen to audiobooks because I think it's a little bit different for everyone and there's a ton of options. So we'll go through them all today. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Kayla. I'm an author, social media manager, and a personal assistant, and this is my life here on YouTube. If you'd like to see more book content from me, definitely check out my book talk and bookstagram. I post almost daily on both of those. Time to hop into all the ways you can listen to audiobooks and which one I think is the best. First up is Audible. I feel like this is the main audiobook platform people think of, but it is the most expensive. An Audible subscription is $14.95 a month, and you get 1 credit to use on 1 book. They do have a Plus catalog, and this is unlimited. You can listen to as many books in this Plus catalog as you want if you have a monthly subscription, but the selection is very, very limited. There's not a ton of books on here, especially for romance books. There's not a lot of options. So I never really use this Plus catalog, which means I'm pretty much paying $15 for 1 credit, which I can use on 1 book. I typically try and use these credits on collections, so I can get 3 or 4 books for the price of 1 credit. Then I get more value for my 1 credit, if that makes sense. Or I try and use them during a 2-for-1 sale. Audible just had one of these the other day, so you get 2 books for your 1 credit. Lastly, I'll try and use them on Audible exclusives, so that means I can only get these books on Audible. They're nowhere else for purchase. Then it's kind of more worth it for me to spend my 1 credit because this is the only place I can buy it, so I might as well use my 1 credit. There's another element to this called Whisper Synced, where if a book is synced between the ebook and the audiobook, you can normally get it for cheaper if you already own the ebook. And this includes Kindle Unlimited, so you could download the book in Kindle Unlimited and then add the audiobook for a lower price. Normally it's about $7.50. So this would be cheaper than what you pay for your 1 credit. So it's normally cheaper to do that way, but then you kind of stock up on all your credits and you don't use them. But you can't do that audiobook add-on unless you have Audible. So it kind of is a scam that way, but it does make it cheaper if you do the like Whisper Synced add-on option. Another thing I try and do with Audible is stock up on sales, like the 2-for-1 sale. They do a ton of other sales. Sometimes they'll be like $5 sales. And during any kind of sale like that, I try and stock up because then it's cheaper per audiobook than using my 1 credit. But again, you need to have an Audible membership to partake in these sales, to shop in these sales. So I find it's typically worth it to have my like recurring monthly subscription for Audible, but I mainly shop through the other options, but I just have the 1 credit a month rolling. And then I try and be really selective about what I use those credits on so I get the most worth for my credit. It's also a little cheaper if you buy your credits in bulk. So if you buy 3 at a time, if you buy a full year at a time, then it makes them a little bit cheaper per credit. This typically lowers your cost per credit to like $10 or $11 depending on what the deal is. And then I'm a little bit less stressed about what I'm spending my credits on because they were cheaper than the like overall $15 a month subscription. Overall thoughts on Audible is that it's really expensive and not necessarily worth the price, but also I love audiobooks, and if there are only ones I can get on Audible, then it's worth it to have my monthly subscription. I think just be smart about what you're actually using your credits on and make sure that there is not a cheaper option for you to purchase your audiobook before you do it. And the other kind of pro of Audible is that you then own the book, you have it, and you can always re-listen to it in the future versus some of these other options. You're like borrowing it for a certain amount of time and it might not always be available. But if you purchase a book on Audible, then you always have it. You can always re-listen to it. So again, maybe use your credits on books that you absolutely love and want to re-listen to versus trying out a new author that you've never read before. You might not like it and then you kind of wasted a credit, if that makes sense. Again, Audible, maybe not the best option price-wise, but I do like it and I will keep my monthly subscription for it. The next way to listen to audiobooks is Scribd. This is another monthly subscription option, and I say unlimited in quotations because it is unlimited for the most part unless you listen to a lot of books. A few of my friends have had issues with their Scribd being blocked because they've listened to too many audiobooks in a month, but this is like if you're listening to 15 plus on Scribd a month. I typically don't have any issues with this and can listen to as many as I want, but I normally don't listen to more than 10 a month on Scribd. I still think it's very much worth the price even if they block you out because it is $11.99 a month. So even if they block you out after 10 or 15 audiobooks, you're still getting way more bang for your buck that way. Just thinking of the cost value for each audiobook you listen to, it's a lot cheaper on Scribd than on Audible. My only kind of con with Scribd is that there's a decent selection, but not everything is on there. To me, it's still very much worth it for the price that I pay and the amount of audiobooks I can listen to, but you cannot listen to everything on there. They only have so many options. There is a decent selection of indie romance authors, I can always find a good amount, but sometimes if I really want to listen to a specific book, it's not on there, then I have to go to Audible and pay for it on Audible. There is a free trial for Scribd, so you can kind of test it out for a month and see how you like it. There is one for Audible too, but you get 1 credit per month, so you can get 1 free audiobook with your trial. Versus Scribd, you can kind of test out how many audiobooks you can listen to. I think it depends on the amount that you're listening to and what type of books you're listening to. I think if you're mainly listening to traditionally published book, it cuts you off a little bit sooner than if you're listening to mostly indie romance books. It does still cut you off at a certain point, but for the most part, it is unlimited. The hack I've kind of found for Scribd is that I will just save any and all titles in a month that I might want to listen to, and then if any of these are blocked out, it will be blocked out to my next billing cycle, and then after that billing cycle, I can listen to any of the ones I have saved. So I think just save anything you might want to listen to, and then anything that's blocked out will be free after your month subscription renews. Between Audible and Scribd, I think Audible has a better selection, but Scribd, you get more bang for your buck, so there are kind of pros and cons to each of them. The next option I'm going to talk about is a free option. We love free, and that is Libby or Hoopla. Both of these apps kind of work the same. I think it just depends on what your local library does. Personally, mine uses Libby, so that's the one I use, but Hoopla works in a really similar way, so you kind of just have to log into both apps and see which one your library uses. But the way Libby works is that it connects to your library card. Some libraries you can sign up for this online, other libraries you have to go in person and get your card and then hook it up to the app, and then the app will work like a typical library, but it's for ebooks and audiobooks. So like your local library, if there are a lot of people who want to listen to one title, they're going to have a hold or a wait list. So if you want to read the newest Nicholas Sparks book, there's probably going to be a wait list, a hold list at your library if you want to read the physical copy, and it will be the same on Libby. There will be a wait list for the ebook copy. It depends on how many copies of the book they own. If it's a popular title, they'll probably own more copies, but if 100 people want to read it and they only have 3 ebook copies, then you kind of have to wait the system. But it is a free option, so if you're willing to wait for the titles that you want to listen to, then this is a great option. And there are a ton of titles on here that don't have a wait list. If you don't want like the newest best-selling titles, then you can probably get them without a wait. It just depends on your library, how many copies they hold, and what titles you want to listen to. Since it's connected to your local library, everyone's selection of books on Libby is going to be a little bit different, and it's going to depend on how good your selection is. For me in San Diego County, our selection is decent. I can normally find some good audiobooks that I want to listen to on here. Again, if it's Audible exclusive, it's not going to be on Libby, so that is kind of one thing you'll have to work around. And usually there's only traditionally published options on Libby, not indie published, especially if they're on Kindle Unlimited, then your library doesn't really see the point of paying for copies. So usually if it's on Kindle Unlimited, if it's indie published, you're not going to find it on Libby. This is normally traditionally published books only, but you can always try and request certain books and audiobooks from your library if you really want to listen to something. I know my library got the Twisted series by Anna Huang when those all came out on audiobooks, and they're on there and they have a few copies of each. So sometimes there are indie published books, you just kind of have to comb through and see what's in there, but this is a great free option if you want to listen to more traditionally published books or you just want a free option to listen. So again, your selection just kind of depends on your library, and you sometimes have to wait for titles, but all of these books on Libby are free. I probably should be a little bit better about using my Libby and looking if the audiobook is on here, but typically I just don't want to wait for the hold, so I'll usually just find something on Scribd or that I already bought on Audible to listen first. But sometimes there's a book that I really want to listen to but I don't want to pay for, so I'll wait for the Libby hold. And the last way I like to listen to audiobooks is through my Kindle Unlimited subscription. I'm already paying this monthly cost to read ebooks for, so I might as well use the audiobooks on it. And I know a lot of readers already have a Kindle Unlimited subscription, so make sure you're using the audiobook feature because it's included with your membership. If you don't have a Kindle Unlimited membership already, it's $9.99 per month, or I pay $80 for the year. Not every book in Kindle Unlimited has included narration, but there is a decent selection, and normally I can find some things I want to listen to through this. And in my mind, it's basically free because I already have a Kindle Unlimited membership, but I still think it would be worth it to pay for this versus Audible. I think even if you sign up for a month or two and listen to as many audiobooks on this as possible and then cancel your subscription once you feel like you don't really have any other options, I feel like this works for Scribd. I feel like you could easily sign up for a few months and read a ton on there, and then once you feel like you've kind of gone through all the books you want to listen to, then cancel your membership for a period and kind of like rotate through it. Again, not everything in Kindle Unlimited has included narration, but if it is, it's going to have this little headphone icon next to where it says Kindle Unlimited, so you can can kind of check it out the same way. And you can either listen to it through your Kindle app or through the Audible app. It kind of shows up on both depending on how you want to listen. There's some Colleen Hoover books with included narration. There's the Mile High Club series by T.L. Swan. I'm definitely going to do a reread of this series soon, and I'm going to listen to them through Kindle Unlimited. There's also some Megan Quinn, Ruth Cordello, Aurora Rose Reynolds. Those are some of the authors I like to listen through Kindle Unlimited with. I have a video where I go more in depth on the ins and outs of Kindle Unlimited if you want to watch that, but you can borrow up to 20 titles on Kindle Unlimited, and the audiobook options are included in this. So you can pretty much listen to your heart's content. You just have to swap out through your 20 borrows. And if you want to specifically search for Kindle Unlimited books that have included narration, go to your Kindle Unlimited page and then select audiobooks, and all of the titles that pop up in here have included narration. There used to be a little bit better of a filter option that you could put Kindle Unlimited, romance books, and included narration, so it would really filter down the books. But if you do go to this Kindle Unlimited audiobook section, it will give you all the audiobooks that are included with your subscription. Those are the ways you can listen to audiobooks and the pros and cons of each of them. Personally, I don't think there is the best way. I think the best option for you is going to depend on what you're looking for and how it balances with these pros and cons and the cost of it. I use all of these options to listen to audiobooks. I have all the subscriptions. It's worth it for me because I listen to a lot of audiobooks. But if you don't listen to a ton of audiobooks, you might just be able to do one of these, maybe two of these. I think they're all great options. Again, it just depends on what you want. I would really recommend doing free trials of any of the options that have free trials and see if you like it, if you're going to use it, if it's worth the price that you're paying for. I hope this video is helpful if you're looking to get into audiobooks and don't know where to listen to them, or if you're already an audiobook fan, maybe this gives you a new option for finding your audiobooks. That's gonna be it for this video. If you liked it, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and leave any comments down below. If you have any other audiobook questions, definitely drop them down below and I can answer them. And if you're new to my channel, don't forget to stick around and subscribe. I do work lifestyle book videos here on my channel, so I would love it if you stuck around. Thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you in my next one.